There's been no word so far from suspended ANC Secretary-General Esma Khashule's foundation as the government seeks to help students the foundation sponsored to study in Turkey. The Department of International Relations and Cooperation says South African embassy officials in Turkey are helping the students out financially. It says the department has written to the foundation about the stranded students to no avail. The foundation sent the students to Turkey in 2017. We're joined now by Thanduxolo Jika, Times Live investigative journalist. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Thanduxolo. So, have you managed to speak to any of the students stranded there so far, and how many are there?
Good afternoon, Tsepiso. We did manage to track down a number of students stranded in Turkey. One of them mentioned how they had to find a spot in a park, and the security guard had to show them, which part was a bit warmer for them at night, in between two buildings. Where they could be safe and keep warm for 2 nights at least. That was until officials from our mission in Turkey managed to get some low-cost accommodation for them. And of course, they're saying it's humiliating for them as students. They're constantly stressed. They do not know what is going to happen next. And these are the things that they should not be worrying about. They should actually be just worrying about studying. Instead, now they're worrying about where they're going to sleep, where they're going to get their next meal.
Do we know how many of them are there, and how long has the status quo been what it is?
There's at least about 17 that are there currently, but this has been ongoing for over a year now. According to the Bogaziki student accommodation owner, Mehmet Kara, he hasn't been paid for 32 months. And is owed about 13 million by the foundation. And reading from the document that we saw from our mission in Turkey to DIRCO this side, the concerns were raised much earlier last year that if this continues, there's going to be a serious problem. And they actually even suggested that the students be transferred at least to South Africa and be transferred to some of the institutions here, because this was going to cause an embarrassment for the country, as it has been ongoing for over a year.
Thanduxolo, if you may, can you tell us a little bit more about the Bahisir University? I believe it's a private university. Were they able to shed light on the terms of the grant for the students to be studying there before they were evicted?
The university is a private university. The accommodation itself is owned by, of course, a private entity, the Bogaziki student dormitories, owned by Mr. Kara, who spoke to us and said he couldn't. They had a gentleman's agreement with Esma Khashule regarding accommodating the students there. So it's quite an expensive university itself compared to a public university. And I mean, last month when I saw an interview where Mr. Esma Khashule was asked regarding these mishaps, and he did say that they were advised to remove the students from the university because it was costly, and perhaps move them to a public-owned university. I don't know if that has happened because Mr. Khashule simply did not respond to my questions since Thursday last week.
What are they studying for them to have to face this, as you say, the spectre of humiliation because they're studying at such high costs, which are obviously not being met? And again, if you have any idea of the terms of the grant that they were given, what it would cover, for how long, and what should happen in the event of things happening the way they have now?
Tsepi, so in terms of the terms of the grant itself, we would like to, get that information from Mr. Magashule himself and the Ace Magashule Foundation. But I've tried my best to find the foundation itself. I haven't been able to track down the foundation. So we have not been able to establish the terms of their grants. And we at least know that the students are left with only 1 year because the term is from September to September. So they're now left with 1 year to complete their studies, which is why the South African mission there is proposing that they be transferred to South Africa to complete their studies.
What are those studies? Are we aware of that?
I did not get into the details of them. It's various courses.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Thanduxolo Jika, Times Live investigative journalist. Of course, we as a Full View as well have done as much as we can in earnest to try and reach the Ace Magashule Foundation to get more information. The Department of International Relations says that it is prohibited by law to assist these students, that it's the departmental staff in Turkey that are raising funds to house these students that are stranded. It is our question of the day. What are your thoughts about this? The fact that the law prevents the Department of International Relations and Cooperation from aiding South African internationals or South Africans internationally financially. What are your thoughts around this? Okay, so moving on to